I'd like to hear a little bit more about your story. So like, what's a little bit about your spiritual journey, a little bit about your career journey, and then we're going to kind of lead up a little bit to the book that you wrote.
Sure, I'll do my best to abbreviate it because I did turn 56 last week, so I have a
Oh,
lot to talk about, right?
happy birthday.
Thank you very much. So I grew up in central Pennsylvania, and I actually went to Catholic high school. And shortly after graduating Catholic high school, I entered into the Air Force and spent 4 years in the Air Force. I, like many of the people that are listening to this podcast, I had a lot of issues with my self-esteem. You know, could I make it through college? Really didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. You know, I know God, I knew God, and I knew Jesus as a Catholic, but I didn't have a personal relationship. Well, serving in the Air Force, my wife and I, we got married relatively young, and I went to college full time because a lieutenant in the Air Force had some interest in me. And he said, Mark, why are you enlisted? You're so smart, you're so bright, you made it through all these tech schools, and the commander promoted you early. Why don't you go to college? And I said, you know, sir, I just don't think I'm capable to go through college. I was always told I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't smart enough. And really, it was very difficult. But I listened to him, and he gave me the encouragement that really nobody except my wife had ever given me, to check out college. And my wife was really promoting that I should go to college and check it out. But this relationship with this lieutenant really blessed me. So I entered into college on campus at Homestead Air Force Base, and literally I bloomed. I just enjoyed it. I loved it. I felt like, wow, I can pass these courses. I am smart enough. And I actually became so energetic that I went to college full time in the evening and graduated with a degree in human resources. So my wife and I, we left the Air Force after I served my commitment, and I had my bachelor's degree, returned to Pennsylvania. I went to graduate school and got my MBA at Bloomsburg University. And my wife went to nursing school and became a registered nurse. After graduation, that really set my career in motion. A headhunter contacted me, liked my background, and I became a district HR manager for Woolrich Incorporated. Started work there, and again, I had mentors around me that loved me, cared about me, and helped me navigate my career. And before I knew it, I can flash like 20 years ahead, I really went through all these big corporations: Quaker Oats Company, Kodak Corporation, Armstrong, and then I hit a pivotal point in my life and in my career. Went through a job loss, and somebody blessed me at that organization. They saw how traumatic it was for me and for my family. You know, I didn't have friends in the area because we were constantly moving around for corporations. And I woke up really a broken man. I had no connections in the community. I was humiliated. How could I lose my job? I have an MBA. I was very arrogant. And God allowed me to go into a desert place for a while. And while I was in that desert place, somebody from the organization introduced me to Northridge Church in Northville, Michigan, where I really heard the message of Jesus Christ for the first time. And my wife and I both became smitten. And we studied, we read a lot about the Gospel According to Rome. It's a great book that talks about Catholicism. We learned about being saved. And we both became born again believers. And we cried out to the Lord and we said, you know, Lord, when you get us out of this place of Mark not having work, take us to a place and we're going to plant roots. And that was 20 years ago. And we still have roots here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because God blessed us and brought us to Lancaster. So since that time, I came, after coming to Lancaster, I worked for 2 privately held Christian-owned companies where I really honed my HR skills in a Christian for-profit work environment. And then the Lord put on my heart 12 years ago, last month, to take everything that I learned from these high-performing companies. I mean, they all blessed me: University of Michigan executive programs, you know, organizational development experiences. And God really, through others, told me to launch an HR consulting firm that I could take these practices that I learned and help kingdom-minded organizations grow and prosper. And that's really what I've been doing for the last 12 years.
Mhm.